afternoon to all of you. Quite a bit of my presentation is going to be from the documents, the IB Continuum of International Education and what is an IB education. And these two booklets would be in your pack. If it isn't in your pack, then please feel free to drop into our stall. We are stall number 17, which is just here, and my colleagues will be very happy to hand you over the booklets that talk about this. And also, if you would want to download the presentation slides that we're going to be talking about, if you have your phone with a bar scanning code, you could point it towards the screen or type in the link URL which is on your screen, and you will be able to download the presentation on your phones or on your computers afterwards. So I'm extremely happy. Firstly, want to thank the ELETs for bringing together so many educationalists from all over the country and international delegates as well. You have been doing a phenomenal job, ELETs, and we are very happy to be an associate partner with the International Baccalaureate with the ELETs technology. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to present before this esteemed audience about the IB and how the IB could be implemented in your schools. I'm extremely happy to also see Dr. Vandana from the Podar International School, a very, very eminent educationalist and also an IB diploma school. Kavita Agrawal from the MISA chairperson. Sagarika from the RBK schools, again an international baccalaureate school. Kusum Kanwar, principal, Billabong International School, and various schools who are here. And together we would be unpacking the International Baccalaureate and the way we would work with your schools. So I'm in business development, and I also work with recognition, which means ensuring colleges accept the IB diploma candidates once they pass out of the 12th standard examinations. So we are celebrating the 50th year anniversary. The International Baccalaureate was founded in '68, and this year, 2018, we are celebrating 50 years of international education around the world. Just a brief about what the International Baccalaureate is. We are a not-for-profit foundation represented in Switzerland, Geneva, and we have our offices all over the world: Geneva, Singapore, The Hague, Washington, DC, and Cardiff. Each of our regional offices work on a particular skill or area. So Cardiff works on assessment. Say India comes under Singapore, and we encourage schools to take part in the IB programs and qualifications. There is tremendous scope for schools because school staff get an opportunity to become examiners, field representatives, workshop presenters. So with the school, the IB grows as well and takes care of professional development. The IB vision and the mission statement is extremely important, because when we are going to be authorizing an IB school, we would want the vision of the school to be aligned with the International Baccalaureate, and you would find that we want students to be more caring individuals. We want schools to understand that and then ensure that students are compassionate in what they do and completely agree with each one's point of view. So this is going to be very, very important for schools to understand and ensure it is implemented before the International Baccalaureate could work with you. We have the learner profile again, which are the 10 representatives, the 10 representing the aspects of a candidate, and we would want schools to ensure that how are they ensuring students are going to demonstrate all these skills. These go on beyond human capabilities, and we want them, and we want schools to show the action plan and how students are going to be exhibiting this. This is one more extremely important aspect when your school is going to be applying with the International Baccalaureate. Quickly to take you through the 4 programs that the IB is going to be offering you. We have the mission statement. You have gone through the 10 points, which are the learner profile. This would need to be underpinned with the program standards and practices, which is actually the guide to ensuring that the guide to ensure that your school is effectively implementing it. As you can see, we have the primary years program, the PYP, which would be from age 3 upwards, from schools from the pre-primary to the 5th standard. You have also the MYP, which is in the Indian context, from the 6th standard to the 10th, and in the diploma program, which is the 11th and the 12th grade. And as you can see, we started off our journey in the year 68 with the diploma program, and quite recently in 2012 started the careers as well. So we have the IB, the CC, which was started in 2012. So schools could apply for all of them, or you could choose any one of them when you would want to seek your authorization with the IB. This particular slide talks about the schools that we have around the world. We are close to 5,000 schools, and India comes under the Asia Pacific zone, and as you can see, it's 822 schools that run the International Baccalaureate within the Asia Pacific. And among the 4 programs that we have, the diploma program is by far the most popular examination for schools to have. This slide talks about Asia Pacific as such, because India comes under administratively the Asia Pacific, and we have 547 schools that do the diploma program and about 450 schools which take the primary years program, followed by the MYP. As you can see, the career schools are only 10 schools, but as you can imagine, this was founded in 2012, so it's going to take time for schools to be adopting the career awards. If you're going to look at India particularly, we have about 155 schools in India which take up the diploma or any of the 3 programs. So very quickly about the primary years program, this program could work with the existing schools, which means that if you already have an affiliation with any of the Indian examination boards, we would want you to continue that, but further strengthen it with the curriculum framework which is being offered by the primary years program. You have 6 units of inquiry, which is a transdisciplinary approach, and at the end of the 5th standard, the child would demonstrate what he has understood in a form of a PYP exhibition. So there are no examinations for the child in the primary years program, but the child is encouraged to demonstrate what he has learned in the form of a PYP exhibition, and we would be ensuring that all your teachers are trained during the candidacy phase. When we are going to be authorizing you, you would go under a 2-year candidacy where all your teachers would be trained in the way to implement the primary years program. I'm also going to take you through what this would be. So this could be either made in your school, where you could make it an inclusive school, which means all your candidates who are currently doing, let's say, the ICSE board or following any of the Indian state boards, the child will continue to study what he is doing, but the teaching practices is going to be following the International Baccalaureate pedagogy. So you can continue whatever you're doing and further enhance it by implementing the PYP in your school. Or if you're going to be a pure international school, then you could start off the primary years program for candidates who are going to be interested only in international education. And both ways it's going to work effectively at your school. I'm just going to play you a very short one minute video on how the primary years program is being practiced in India and also around the world.
The PYP forces you to consider your practices.
And it actually got me thinking about the whole goal of education, my whole role as a teacher. Was it to give information about the world, or was it to help them understand the world in which they live?
From the teaching perspective, there was a huge shift.
It was definitely a road of discovery, where both kids and teachers are in the learning phase together.
The PYP encourages us to have student-centered learning.
That we are not fonts of knowledge anymore as teachers.
It's not my job to make meaning for the students. It's the students' job to make meaning for themselves.
It's very much about co-constructing knowledge and building skills together, and they are the ones that make that happen.
What we are seeing now is the result of that shift in the learners. We are seeing tremendous changes in the way that they are thinking about their learning, the way that they're applying their learning in the classroom.
PYP learners are inquirers. They become knowledgeable, they can express themselves, and then they reflect on their learning.
What I do notice is that kids are more engaged in the learning.
I think the engagement comes from the focus on big ideas, the focus on larger concepts.
They may remember the information, they may not. But if they could hang on to that big conceptual idea about the world at large was going to help them to understand it.
They learn how to value the way that they learn as well as the way that other people learn.
So we'll now move on to the MYP, which is your class 6 standard upwards, the 6th to the 10th standard. And the MYP curriculum again would be further enhancing whatever board your school currently has. So you could continue with the ICSE or Indian boards. They will continue to take the examination of the Indian board. And if you want, the child could take the optional MYP examination, which is after the 10th standard, which is at the end of the 10th standard examination from the MYP. So you would have 8 subject areas, which we saw earlier from the primary years has from 6, now here you have 8, and it is an interdisciplinary approach. The child would have to understand, show a personal project as well, and this would coexist along with what your school is already doing. At the end of the 10th standard exam, if you wish, you could also opt, and I would strongly encourage you to take in the e-assessments, because we are the only examination board in the examination fraternity that gives you the 10th standard examination completely online and a combination of an e-coursework portfolio. So the child comes into the hall and takes the examinations online, and this is a combination of the e-portfolio, which is in 4 of the papers, and you would have five exams for the on-screen examinations. Those five papers are on the top of your screen, and the 4 of them are the e-coursework portfolio. But then apart from this, the child would have to work throughout the MYP and then show a personal project as well. Okay, this is completely optional. If a child does not take these examinations, you are still considered the MYP, you have passed the 10th standard examination. And I'm just going to play you one more short video clip on how the experiences have been for students who have done the e-assessments. You take another 35 or 40 seconds.
Welcome to this short video about the IB Middle Years Programme e-assessment. On-screen examinations are part of the new, innovative, optional MYP e-assessment model. A custom-developed software platform is used to deliver the 2-hour-long examinations. Great care has been taken to ensure that the software is easy to use without training, and the design was well received in the early user trials. You can see the simplicity in the presentation of the information on the screen. The scrolling panel of questions has a look and feel familiar to those who use the internet every day. MYP on-screen examinations focus on understanding and applying concepts, big ideas that carry the weight of academic disciplines and the connections between them. This innovation in examinations is best demonstrated by looking at how specific features are used by the examination authors and applied to the trial examinations. Questions challenge students to think critically and creatively. Tasks focus on analyzing, synthesizing, and creating meaning in multiple contexts and real-life situations. Because tasks focus on conceptual understanding, students are able to engage with the examination by bringing to it what they know and have studied in school settings. On-screen examinations offer candidates opportunities to respond in innovative and efficient formats, including text boxes, drawings, flowcharts, and data tables. The student enters numbers into the grid, and the system charts the results automatically. In this way, we use the on-screen examinations to allow a focus on higher-order thinking and contemporary skills. What you've seen here provides a good indication of how the on-screen examinations will work. For more information, go to www.ibo.org/MYP.
So we have now done the first standard to the 10th standard. You have got to understand the primary years program as well as the MYP. For those of the audience that just came into the hall, both these programs could be used alongside your existing board, or if you want to start a separate international stream in your schools. Now we are moving on to the 11th standard and the 12th standard examination. Here you would not be able to coexist with the Indian Examination Board. You would need to tell your candidates whether you want to move from the Indian system, from the 10th, and move over to the International Baccalaureate for the 11th and the 12th standard examination. And particularly why I wanted you to see the MYP examination, and one of the main areas why we decided to partner and be an associate member of the ELETS is because the ELETS also works with e-technology. You're being the first magazine, and you look at platforms as well. So the IB is one of the only boards that gives a 10th standard examination online, and that's one of the partnerships that we could see between the ELETS and the MYP examinations. We'd be very happy to take it ahead. So now we're going to talk about very briefly about what is going to be entailing for schools that want to run us only for 12th standard examination. You would have 6 groups, so the child will need to. So the child would compulsorily require to study 6 of these areas, and you would choose 1 paper from each of the 6 groups that the board is going to be offering. And so you could see from the sciences, you could choose biology or computer science. The mathematics, you would have it at the SL level or as well as the HL. And apart from the 6 groups, you would also have to study the core part. Now, the core part consists of the extended essay, which is approximately a 4,000 words essay on whichever subject group the child was very strong at. So if he was good in geography, you can then choose the extended essay from that examination. You have TOK, as well as you have the CAS examinations, where a child is expected to go outside the school and explore other areas. So you require a 24-point scale. You would need at least 24 points out of a total maximum of 45 points that the IB gives the student who is able to excel, but at least 24 points is what you need for the recognition to be happened, for the colleges to be accepting you into their higher education. So 45 points is what the maximum score that you would get. But then, apart from the point system, we are also going to give the students percentage as well, because most of the Indian colleges would ask you to show you a percentage score as well. So this looks at the average score of students who have completed their 12th standard, and you can see that out of the maximum score of 45 points, general average score is between 28 points to 31 points, and that has shown the way how successful the IB diploma is. Going very quickly to the IB career related program is where, just 2 more minutes, is where if you are sure that the child is keen on, say, animation, or he is keen on, say, agriculture, then what happens is you could partner with other organizations that are going to be offering plumbing or, say, interior decoration. You have Pearson, Edexcel, BTech, CISI, SCAD, and you could partner with them and take two exam papers from the International Baccalaureate and take in the balance papers from say, any other examination board, and then jointly together we would be offering you the IB career exams. Recognition in India is extremely important, because once you complete your 12th standard examination, you are recognized as the equivalent to any exam in India. This has been given by the AIU, COBSI as well, which is all the Indian boards come under the Council of Boards of School Education of India. This is just a few, but I'll be very, 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 very happy to point you out to them all. Going very, very fast, you would be able to download this. Just 2 more slides, that's it. Okay, yeah. So you could download research papers from this website, which talks about what are the implications when schools have taken the IB and how it shows the child has developed skills. So that is taken from this web link. I would welcome you to take it. All these presentations, you could download it from the digital toolkit. You can print out these. It is there digitally available for you. I would also encourage you to visit the conferences. You could come to the global conferences of ours. The forthcoming conference is for Hong Kong. It's on 24th of March, and I could encourage you to please come and attend them. So that's about it. Please do feel free to write to me at vinayak.sudhakar@ibo.org. I'll be very, very pleased to be and assist your schools in implementing the IB. And I'll just keep this slide on last just before I leave. And if you want to download any of these slides or any of the documents, just feel free to scan this page and it'll be in your phone. Do drop by the IB stall as well. Many thanks again to the ELETs for this opportunity to be here before the audience.